So in this older version of Boxcutter, we'll go up to the top bar and change our shape over to custom. And whenever it comes to custom, you click and drag to begin creating your custom shape. And generally, we had custom cater towards just really stretching your shape and getting all sorts of interesting shapes across your surface. However, later came the introduction of proportional draw and proportional extrusion, which came under Shift. Shift to draw was actually deemed acceptable and works out great whenever it comes to drawing a shape and you want absolute accuracy with the shape that you're drawing. However, whenever it comes to the extrusion process, having to hold Shift in order to get the shape to extrude 1-to-1 and then clicking to apply will always result in the shape being kept live, which results in you having to press 1 in order to change your collection and then reselecting the shape, which is just an undesired series of maneuvers to have to do to get a maneuver that's actually quite popular. While the behavior of holding Shift is something that we need to actually reverse internally and something that's currently in discussions, we did do something about the behavior being on the Shift key for when it comes to extrusion. We've now delegated it to Control. So in this case, I'm just showing you how having it on Shift and then holding Shift and pressing left click triggers a superseding system of Shift to live, which can be quite problematic. So if we press 1 and we get rid of that, we can minimize this blender and jump over to the current one and see what I'm talking about. So if we press D, we can switch over to custom, which it looks like I'm actually custom is right here. In the Simple Pi, custom is in the exact same location. Switching between old and new Boxcutter sometimes throws me off, but in any case, we click and drag to create our shape. If we hold Shift, we're able to draw it proportionally. However, Shift is reserved for Shift to live. So that means in order to snap this exactly to 1-to-1, we need to be able to hold Control. And from here, if we left click, we see that we're able to apply the operation without any issue. And this will come in handy for another thing that we'll be talking about in the next slide, but just letting you know that you'll be able to draw proportionally using 1-to-1, which is pretty much the same as holding Shift in order to draw an equidistant box whenever it comes to drawing with box, or whenever you're in circle and you want to be able to draw using a different alignment system other than central draw. You can hold Shift and actually change it to a corner draw, which will let you draw in 4 quadrants based on your initial draw point. However, getting back to the point at hand, just letting users know. So let's select box and we will just extract just a little strip of this, press Y, and we'll just draw in this location, hold Shift, press R, rotate it 90 degrees, bring this in, hold Control, pause it if needed, and from here we can just click and apply without any further ado. So while it can be a little bit confusing at this time, the thing that still makes it confusing is the fact that we need to remove Shift from being able to be held during draw. So personally, I believe that we need to reverse the behaviors and actually draw the shapes out in a 1-to-1 state permanently, and you hold Shift in order to deviate, which would actually reduce the amount of keystrokes needed in this workflow altogether and make things go a lot more smoothly. So we'll just have to see what the future holds for that, but it's still something that is currently in contemplation.